I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, we can segue this pretty well. I don't love the contract that Hartenstein signed. I don't like the amount of money that OKC gave him. So
Yeah.
again, this is one of those moves where if OKC has decided that Hartenstein, his passing ability, what he brings to the team puts him over, then the money's worth it. Obviously, they're not really
Yeah.
paying anyone else yet, but that's a lot of money for Hartenstein, in my opinion. So
Yeah. It definitely moving on to OKC, it definitely changed my grade a little bit, is how much the money was for. You and I texted me about it. Is I love that trade, or no, excuse me, that signing. I love the value that it brings to that team immediately for a team that was ranked almost dead last in defensive rebounds. It's amazing for them. Immediately amazing. The defense, 1.2 steals per game, 1.1 blocks per game. That's immediate impact. But the money is a lot, so they got docked slightly for that, instead of like it being, if it was a little bit better money, it'd be like an A plus. It's still like an A minus for me. I still really like, that's the type of player that they needed to bring in. And then acquiring Alex Caruso, trading away Josh Giddey, I think that's exactly the type of player they needed. Josh Giddey, moving away from him, he doesn't have a defined role on the team after this last year. Bring in a guy, Alex Caruso, who's probably going to play the starting shooting guard position. I think we'll probably do that. He's not going to play off the bench. Regardless, that defense is immediately better on a very young OKC team. And then on top of that, you're bringing back two very, very important role players in Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. So overall, I gave OKC an A because I like everything that they've done so far.
you know what's hella funny is I listed off all those great players that the Lakers have drafted, and I didn't even talk about Caruso. I don't even remember if Caruso was drafted by the Lakers or if he was was he a draft pick, a second round draft pick?
I don't think so.
Anyways, he started with the Lakers, right? The other thing that's crazy about Caruso, he's the oldest player on the Thunder.
Is he really?
Yep.
He went undrafted, and he signed with the 76ers.
Some guy named Kenrick Williams is also 30, but for the sake of this podcast, I'm going to tell you Caruso, who's 30, is the oldest. I'm not going to look up their birthdays, but
right.
Yeah, I think that we sound stupid, and I'll admit it, sitting here saying all the fantastic things that Hartenstein fills for this roster and all the fantastic things he's going to do for them, and they're like, oh, he's overpaid. It's just a small criticism of it. He fits the timeline. He's only 26 years old. He fits the timeline with that team.
Yep.
Honestly, the only thing that stops me from telling you that the Oklahoma City Thunder are in the NBA Finals next year is that budding megastar out there in Minnesota. That's the only,
yeah.
That's the only reason why I won't proclaim that my offseason pick for the NBA Finals is the Celtics versus OKC, outside of injuries, obviously. But how prudent is it going to be for the Clippers to miss the playoffs next year, relying on Kawhi Leonard, who plays 58 games next year, and James Harden, and here Shai is leading them to the NBA Finals.
That roster, dude. I mean, you have SGA, you have Alex Caruso, you have J-Dub. You're probably playing Chet at the 4, and then you're playing Isaiah at the 5. And then you also want to add in, guys like Lou Dort again, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, all these guys coming off the bench who are really important role players. Lou Dort being one of the best defenders in the league. It's a really good roster, and it's really deep too, with a team that still has cap space and still has some draft capital. So that's a really, really, really good team. So in the years to come, OKC is like prime to take one, but we'll see what happens.
And do you know what SGA's contract is?
No, I don't.
This year, next year, the year after, 35, 38, and 40. Now, Tatum's getting 67.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tatum's better than SGA, obviously, but I'm just saying, man, they got to extend these players. Chet's coming up. I get it. Same thing with the Magic. The Magic have a couple extensions coming their way, but holy shit, like, not only is this team young, they extended their superstar at the right time. His contract looks like a bargain at this point. He's making 35 this year, and Hartenstein's making 30.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, James Harden's making 35. So,
Well, I can't deal with Los Angeles stupidity. That's just we can't. We're
Maybe they're
trying
the
to have
ones
a
paying the premium. It's not the
we're
small
just
market. It's just LA.
we're just trying to have a reasonable discussion here, and you're talking about James Harden making $35 million in the year of our Lord 2024. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yep, exactly. Um,
Honestly, I loved the rumors last year that James Harden was going to go back home to Houston. I
yeah,
loved that. That's perfect. Go rehab your image, man. Like get out of LA, get away from Kawhi. LA's bad. LA's a bad place. Los Angeles, it's that's nasty.